for G.A.S.P investigations here in Tombstone.
Supposedly, right now we're having technical difficulties.
Yeah, it is!
How you like that?
That's good.
Hi, I'm Nadia, the lead investigator of G.A.S.P Investigations, and welcome back to our equipment review series. So previously we talked about the Ovilus 5 and all its different settings that you can use, as well as caught some interesting paranormal activity while playing around with it. Now today we're going to be talking about one of my personal favorite equipment devices that we have thus far, and that is the SLS Kinect Camera. Let's get started. To begin, SLS stands for Structured Light Sensor, which is a depth sensing technology that uses an Xbox Kinect camera from the Xbox 360 or the Xbox One, as well as a Microsoft program to outline and detect physical, or in this case, spiritual beings. The Kinect camera was launched on November 4th, 2010, and not long after that did ghost hunters start using the SLS Kinect camera for their investigation. The most notable instance was the debut of the SLS Kinect camera from Bill Chappell, as we mentioned before in a previous video that he was the creator of the SLS as well as the Ovilus 5. You can check that video out here. Completely after this, ghost hunters and paranormal investigators wanted to get their hands on this technology. You can actually find a wide range of different models of SLS camera, and a lot of them that I know of that you can buy right at this very moment will be linked down below. Now, with the wide range of SLS cameras, we also have our own variation of the SLS camera, and we'll be showing you how to make your own using our technique in a later video. So stay tuned for that. Like mentioned before, the SLS Kinect camera, or we just call it the SLS, is a structured light sensor, meaning it uses specific range of light and detects objects in a certain amount of space. So think of a 3D printer and how it measures the length, width, and depth of an object to actually 3D print it. This is the same sort of thinking of the light wavelengths between the SLS camera and how far and how wide, how tall and deep an object is back to the camera. If you can remember, a lot of people using CGI and those morph suits that have a bunch of dots all over that track the individual and their movements and how tall they are, how they walk, their walk cycle, how they're running, so on and so forth. But this is the same thinking, but you don't have to wear those suits. So thankfully you don't have to wear them. It just uses light to bounce off of an object back to the camera. So what the SLS is really doing, it's just taking IR wavelength and hitting it out from the camera, off of the object, and back to the camera of how far it is from the camera, depending on the specific color. It can detect specific objects such as tables, chairs, desks, but they're not mapping it out. What they are mapping out is, in this case, people or spiritual phenomena, objects that are trying to manifest themselves in real time. So it's using an IR light sensor grid to measure as well as take in information using an IR approved camera, meaning infrared light can pass through the lens. If you really want to learn about IR in night vision cameras and infrared light, please be sure to check out our video of night vision cameras linked right here as well as down below. Using a projector with monochrome CMOS sensor in a grid, it detects and maps out somewhat of a three-dimensional space live image of your surroundings and frame. Once you or your teammate steps into frame, you are being mapped out as a stick figure using specific joints, meaning head, shoulders, elbows, wrists, knees, and hips. Now, how we do it is we use the Xbox 360 camera to input that infrared grid, to input that information into a program through Microsoft. Now, the Microsoft program that we use, and you're going to learn about this in that other video that we talked about how to create one yourself. Now, this program takes that information and makes it into a live captured image of the 3D space. Now, it detects different colors depending on how close or far you are from the camera. The closer you are, the more differing color you are from something that's far away. So the closer you are differs from how far an object really is away from the camera. Now, this is really good to use knowing what is you and what's not you. So what you are doing and you being part of the grid, it'll map out those specific joints, but you literally can see an outline of yourself around the camera. It's a very fuzzy outline, but it's still an outline. Now you can detect whether or not something pops up is paranormal or just another team member. Now this is 100% proof that something manifesting that doesn't have an outline is strictly paranormal. With the SLS camera, and why this is my favorite, is because it takes in information real time. You can really detect whether something is paranormal or not. Now the easiest part is that because, like I mentioned before, with that outline of you can see that it's you being manifested into the SLS program. Now if something pops up next to you, but nobody's standing with you, that's 100% paranormal. You don't know how to debunk it. You can say that it's an object trying to capture something within the room, but really, if it maps out a head, shoulders, hips, legs, anything like that, there's no definitive proof that you can debunk if that's paranormal or not. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be playing around with it a little bit, but don't forget that we're also going to be showing you how to make your own using our strategy and our method. We got this off of another YouTuber's video that they made quite some time ago, and we're also going to link that down below and also up here. But the way that we created ours and the specific structure that we have is completely different from theirs. So don't forget to stay tuned for that. Alright, so that's everything that you need to know about the SLS camera. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them down below. Go to our website at G.A.S.P.investigations.com to learn more about the SLS camera. Thank you so much, and see you next time.